Final Fantasy Rebirth. It's a good game. Spent way too long on it. Like over 100 hours. Which is normal, but I don't know, at first it was exciting. It was like, ooh, Final Fantasy, but like open world. I've only played 7 Remake and the DLC. So I'm sure they do open world stuff with other games, obviously, but it was unique to see it in like a 7 perspective. Because 7 Remake was very linear and A to B-ish. But this was like, I'd say it's open world, but it still felt kind of limited. Yeah, you can kind of go here and there, but as far as like regional, it's not like Skyrim where you can literally go anywhere in the entire map. Like this is more like, oh, you gotta do this to go here and do that to go there. It's just like getting around was just, oh man, it was awful. It's not even just like wanting to go from one major area to another. It was more getting around in the areas you were at already. That's why, like, the way they set it up is you want to do as much as you can while you're there, because if you're trying to bounce back and forth, it's just a giant hot mess. But just like the traversal, the mobility was like, it's fun that first day. It's like, oh, this is exciting, exploring, but it's still pretty barren and like, it's not exactly, there's nothing to really, like, oh, there's something really cool, like right around the corner, or like some secret or some cool area or thing or whatever. Like, it's not like Fallout, or it's not like, it's a really good attempt at like an open world Final Fantasy VII universe world thing, but it just doesn't work. Like the whole time I was playing this, and even watching 7 Remake, it makes me miss that game more, because it was just so much more solid and fun and exciting and entertaining, and this one's kind of just drawn out and milked, and there's just too much to do. It's no secret that it's like mini game hell, and there's a lot to do. You get your money's worth out of it. There's a lot of content, but it's just so like drip fed and saturated and hollow and shallow and empty, and like if this was their attempt to make it different than 7, they did that very well. But there's a reason why 7 itself is kind of the main, or the first iteration of it, I guess. I don't even know anymore, but there's a reason why that's kind of the main deal, is because it's just so good. It has such a concrete foundation to it. When you compare the games, it's really easy to be like, okay, there's so much more in Rebirth. More weapons, more materia, more items, more areas, more everything. But it gets so out of hand, and so just the organization of it all, and it just feels like they it's kind of like they took this part of 7, cut it up into a bunch of pieces, rearranged it on a table, and slapped it all together and called it a game. It's just so like the pacing, it was just, God, it was, something just felt so off the whole time. You wanted to look forward to, oh, that next section, that next progression, that next cutscene, who are you going to see next, what's going to happen, that was kind of there. But it really was just the same thing the whole time. Or really, it just felt like the first part of 7 all over again, but just expanded and extended. Which sounds like a good thing when you say it out loud on paper, but the first game was so much more enticing and invigorating, and like, I think it stuck in Midgar, and it's really stuck true to the theme of the city and the cyberpunkness, and like, it was just so nice and packed tight. This one was just like everything just fell out on the floor, and it was still good. It's not like it was terrible. It's just playing it was just a fucking nightmare. Like, God, I don't know. I would have rather just watched it, to be honest. Like, it's a decent game to watch, or especially if, you know, depending on how someone plays it, if there's a nice flow to it and like progression, and they're not doing every little single thing or trying to make it harder than it has to be, or because there's so many variables, just so many factors that are put into it because of what kind of game it is, its mechanics, the system, that it's really one of those you just gotta kind of casually chill play it, or else it's just never gonna get done, and it's just a ugh. I enjoyed my time in it. It wasn't like, but so much of it just felt wasted. I'm trying to get around and do stuff and make use of the content that's there and the activities, but it was just so like, bleh. Or it's probably one of those games that you're just better off doing the main stuff. Which ends up, unfortunately, kind of being pretty normal and typical for like an open world game. Is like, obviously that's kind of the more exciting stuff to do. But that's the thing, is that if it's a good open world game, you should want to like actually explore and want to do these things. But the whole time it just felt so forced, like I have to do them, I don't want to. Because it's like, alright, well, especially because I kind of quit for a while and came back, and then I was like, man, do I really want to keep messing around with what little is, because there wasn't so much left, really. I mean, if there was still quite a bit by the time I came back, but wow, it was something. It's just the whole time I was playing it, I was like, dude, I could be playing the next game, a different game, a better game. It's tough because it's like I loved it, but I hated it. And to be fair, Final Fantasy as a whole, let alone 7, it really is just a lot of generic, like, I don't know what's going on, where we're at, what we're doing. I'm taking crazy pills. I'm in La La Land, tripping balls, fuck. It's a Japanese game, so it's like fine, but there's such little keeping it together that it's really more about all this nonsense than it is about kind of the core of like what makes this game good. It's like you can't really explain what it is because it doesn't make sense. It's just good, which I don't know if that's good or bad, because you want to kind of understand what it is that you're playing and trying to interpret and process and understand, but it's almost not even worth the effort because it's just so kind of left field. Yeah. Yikes. The cutscenes are good.
Hey, rein it in. Sorry. No can do.
Kids.
Say, I'd like to be briefed on the mission at some point.
The only, what is it, the only thing that kept me going was like, you still have Cloud and Aerith and the whole, you know, Barrett and Tifa and new people and different characters I've never seen before, and I don't know the universe as well, and I never played the OG, I never played the other games. So there was a lot to look forward to. But it just kind of felt like one thing after another, like, alright. I don't think they made what was their count. They just, I don't know. It was very much Final Fantasy, like, it's exactly what you would expect and want out of this franchise and the series specifically, or this game 7. And I'm glad that if I like Final Fantasy at all, it's gonna be 7. I don't even still know if I'm gonna bother touching the other ones or not. But, and to be fair, when 7 came out, it was a different time. It was a while ago now. That was one of the first games I really played while doing all this, and the demo, and thinking back when I was 10 years old and like watched my stepbrother play the OG on the PS1, and then being able to kind of play it now on my time. So I definitely have my reasons of playing this, is because I do go far back with this specifically versus the other ones as a whole in general. But oh, and I played some of Crisis Core. I covered some of this in the 7 review, but I don't know, this one was just like, it was so good that it was bad. It was so bad that it was good. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's like watching a really good, high quality, premium AAA B movie or something. It's just fucking wacky as hell. And strange and odd, which is good. That's kind of... But another example is like Yakuza or something. Like, there's still... They put in all this goofy, the humor, the comedic stuff, the formalities, the kind of the body language, the expressions, but there's still like a very serious thing going on there too. And obviously this isn't serious, it's like magic and all kinds of weird stuff, but they still try to make it very grounded and somewhat realistic, and it's obviously more of like a CGI style, not versus like, it's trying to be anime but like a real one, and it's just kind of, it's very not really uncanny, but like just awkward. Yeah, I will say that I probably enjoyed it definitely more towards the beginning. But then the more I kept playing, the more I was like, ugh, it just felt like such a drag. It was just kind of... It just became work. It became a job and a chore, and... That's how most games can be, to be fair, but this one was like... I think what fun could have been had there, it was just kind of absorbed by all this crap they tried to squeeze in. It just felt like one thing after another. It's like, can we be persistent for like 5 minutes? It's a different area, it's a different minigame, it's just they kind of kept throwing stuff at you every fucking 10 minutes. It like was trying too hard to like keep your attention and keep it rolling, and I don't know. I think it's gonna be very different for people with like certain attention spans, or like, you know, we're going from this thing to this and then back and forth, and It's just not a very like smooth sailing game. It's just kind of all over the place, and it's tough for me because I'm someone that's like, I gotta contain what sanity I have, and when I play games like this, it's like you're just kind of letting loose. It's impulsive, it's a loose cannon, this game is like self-destructive, you're going right into the fire. It's kind of like, it's not really hard or anything, it's just like, it's just agitating and kind of annoying and irritating, and it's like playing Dark Souls but like easy mode, or I don't know, it's just kind of this constant like this force of nature just weighing on your chest. But yeah, I don't know. And there's even people that are like replay this whole thing, which is insane, but it's definitely like a one and done game, obviously, for me. I'm glad it's over. It's a relief, and obviously the ending dragged on for like 3 hours, of course, longer. I would say. I mean, this is one of those games where you gotta put in at least like 10 hours a day or something, because like, it's holy. There's so much to do, and I'm someone that likes to do at least 75% of stuff, which is just another way of saying like 99%, or I don't want to do everything, or I'm not looking to platinum it or 100% it or do anything crazy like that. I'm just trying to enjoy what was there and play it and get it over with and move on. But even just to do that was such a about halfway, if not what, 3/4 of the way or whatever. I just got so like uninterested and kind of fell off. And the reason why I took a break, though, I didn't leave it because I wanted to get it all done in one go, like back to back simultaneously every day until it's done. That's how we play stuff. But this was more like or I tried to do this thing to progress, and it was just a pain in the ass, so I just stopped playing. And then I came back and figured it out, which is funny because that's one of the first things I went back and did, and then I was like, okay, I still can't do this. And then I came back again later and I eventually did it. I don't know, it's like they did somewhat make it where if you want to do just the main stuff, you can and skip the open stuff. I want to say there was like a couple things integrated in the open world that tied to the main stuff. I don't remember, but either way, like if you do the main story, there's so much of that there that's more than enough. That's a whole game in of itself. When you're doing this extra stuff, it really is like you're playing 2 games at once. It's too much. It's not like most other open world games that I've played where it's like even if it's not exciting or fun to do these other things, at least they're easy to do, or they don't take too much time. But they still help you in some way, collecting or getting cosmetics or getting stronger. If you skip all the side stuff, that's less weapons, less accessories, less material, less money, less items, less materials, less resources, everything. Like, you kind of have to, or at least if you want to sail through the main stuff even smoother, which it's one of those games where if you skip shit, that's probably not a good idea. Because you need every kind of, especially because of how shitty the combat is. I've already covered that in 7. It's literally the same thing again. I think at first it felt a little bit better, like it wasn't as punishing or like, but it was exactly the same. But which is kind of a shame. I would have hoped they like would have improved it more, or it felt improved, but it wasn't. It's this is a great example of Yakuza like a dragon. Oh, it's brawler the whole time, and then now all of a sudden it's turn-based, and it kind of sucks. Final Fantasy's always been turn-based, and now it's kind of this mix of real-time / turn-based, and it's just you pause and you make a move, and you pick your stuff and your abilities and skills and what your attacks, and then you get hit as soon as you get out of the battle menu, and dodging and blocking barely does anything. I mean, to be fair, I wasn't sitting there like trying to understand every single thing about it. Like, okay, are there ways to kind of play this better and smoother? But I just went for more of like the raw beatdown, kind of just like, hey, I'll still mess with like some debuffs and buffs, but then for the most part, I'm just gonna kind of just knock it out and because I want to give it some benefit of the doubt, like maybe there was a better way to handle most situations, but at the same time, and you can get by just generally playing along, but if you skip stuff, it's not gonna go great. The gameplay was good. But yeah, the game has a lot of redeeming qualities. That's the term I was looking for earlier. But it fell so short. Like, it has all this potential, but that's what I think was the problem, is it ran with it. Like, it knew that it was a big game, and I don't even want to know the budget for this, because there was a lot to do, and a lot of cutscenes, and a lot of dialogue, and which is good, but it was almost just, they tried to build themselves up so big that it fell in on itself. Like, it just, it's one of those games where, okay, you're a Final Fantasy fanboy, you've played them all anyway, they're all more or less probably about the same, to be honest. As in, like, I'm seeing this one as having all these issues, but it's probably, I'm sure it's like that with most of the other games anyway. But, so, okay, they're gonna be good, because it's like just another game to them. Or, yeah, if you're gonna play OG 7, or Crisis Core, or Remake 7, or you gotta play this one too, just to kind of fulfill that. But unless it's any of those two situations, like, wow, I don't know, like, just for someone to play this at all, like, for no reason, or just because it's a big game or whatever, I don't know how that's gonna go. It can go either way. Someone's gonna like it or they're gonna hate it. But I think if you're gonna bear through this at all and give it a chance, or download it at all, or purchase it, or you definitely gotta have a good enough reason, because, yeah, I mean, there's billions of other games out there, and probably much better ones, and just ones that were done well. And because some games know what they're doing, this is a type of game that this is just their thing and what they do. This game was trying to, it's not in its element. Like, if you're looking at 7 Remake just before this, or Crisis Core Remaster, or whatever it was, it's kind of just like, ugh. It just leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Like, but you can't sit there and give it too much shit because you do still get Sephiroth, and you know, you get Zack, and you get, you know, flashbacks and memories, and the team. One thing that I loved about 7, like you still get that here, but 7 was so good, the remake, because Jesse and Barrett and Eric, like we're all together as like a family and a team, and it felt so good, and like bonding and connections and friends and pals and buddies, and but we were just like an unstoppable team, and we were really strong, and we got along, and we, you know, not at first, but like we started to really come together and grow and evolve, and I loved seeing that dynamic, that change of just togetherness. But this one was kind of just like, it was so piecemealed everywhere. There's a lot of good times, a lot of good bonding moments like that, like, hey, we're hanging out, we're conversing, we're having conversations, we're talking. One minute it's like me and Tifa, one minute it's Aerith and whoever, right? It was really, there was a lot of good moments that made up for the bad, but it becomes a question of, did the bad outweigh the good? Did the good outweigh the bad? It's one of those games where at the end of the day you just gotta kind of take it for what it is, because there's not really much more you can do about it. It's just, it is what it is, and I don't know. You know, you're just fighting all these like weird monsters. I just never got into this series as a kid, or so I just don't get it. But I respect the fact that it's a Japanese game and it comes from Japan, and it's Japanese people that made it, and all the influences, and you know, it's just another game they've done that kind of has little homages to like Western culture, and you can always kind of respect and enjoy and love what it is because of just the fact that it exists. But like beyond that, there's nothing really for me to like. And there's trickled stuff in there, like, oh, I like ninjas, oh, I like swords and weapon, like just random stuff. Like that's what they should have called it, Final Fantasy VII Random, because holy. But I don't know, as of right now, the only comparable ones really is 7 Remake and this. Like, Crisis Core is kind of old. That's Zack's thing. It's related, but it's more of a spin-off, I would say, right? Like, this is, between the two games, it's gotta be 7 all the way, because I don't know, this is just like, this game is like a perfect example of like a sellout. Like, oh, 7 Remake was so successful, in Final Fantasy in general, and 7 OG, and let's just kind of go all out and make this just the most over-the-top game ever, and I don't know. That's what they did. I'll give them some brownie points there, but like, I just didn't really like it. I mean, as much as I did like it, I just can't say that like if I enjoyed like less than half of it, that's not good. And to be fair, when I was finishing this up, I was kind of rushing it. I was like, all right, I just want this to be done. But by the time it was over and I saw those credits, I was like, well, this was a pretty good journey. I had a good time. It was a good adventure and quest. And because I go back with it quite a ways now, and then quit and then came back, so I kind of have a lot of time to look back at and memories, and with the game, I guess, specifically. And it's always going to depend too, like what's going on in real life, and that might affect the way you look at the game. And but that's a whole different story. But I don't know. Like it started off good. It started off really basic and simple and easy and clean and smooth, and then it just got rougher and rougher as you went along. The areas were harder to explore. You had to bust your butt just to get anywhere and do anything. Yeah, God, I don't know. It was just a lot of yikes. It's obviously a lot longer than 7. 7 was just long enough, if not right over right over borderline too long, where it just worked. Like it wasn't too long, it wasn't too short, very medium, average, mid kind of package delivery, which is just, that's kind of what just ends up being effective the most, is just exactly what they did with 7. And they were smart about it, and they knew that was going to be their new entry into this entire kind of, well, what would you call it, like a trilogy. 7 remake, Rebirth, and whatever the next one is, Revelation or Resonance, I don't even know. And it was a good time to come back and finish it too, because I wanted to for a while. I hated that I knew I left quite a bit undone, and I was like, shit, I didn't put in X amount of hours just to kind of stop. Like I really did want to see it through, and I did that, but even coming back to do that was, I think it was almost easier if you just kind of kept it going from start to finish, instead of kind of coming back, because then it's like, I was like, oh god, I remember why I hated this game in the first place, and it kind of brought back, it's like PTSD. I just wanted it, but it's done now. It's over. I was definitely a lot more frustrated with it as I was playing it, versus like now that it's over, I can kind of relax a bit more. But I like games where you get a relief, where like, oh my god, that was so good, and I'm glad I played that. And with this game, it's like, or maybe if things weren't the way they were recently, I would have enjoyed it more. I don't know. I just, like, the whole last couple chapters I kind of just tuned out, and which is kind of a shame, because it definitely did deserve a little bit more respect from me than that. But it didn't help that beforehand, when I started to basically lose complete interest, I was already just kind of losing it anyway. So yeah, it's one of those things. Some positive things though is I really liked one of the levels. I love the music, I love the theme, I love it was just like a fun place, and that's probably the only good thing I got out of the entire game. But when you think back at 7, is like, man, Midgar, and especially those nights in the city, and traveling, and kind of just doing your thing, and you just, like, every moment felt like it mattered, and like you were really doing something and important, or at least, like, yeah, some side stuff, but not too much, and a lot less confusing and overwhelming and complex and complicated. And this game was just the exact opposite. It just was like, what are we doing? Why? They're trying to uncover, I just, it's impressive how much they can squeeze out of 7 alone, let alone all their games. Like, how do they find a way? I know that's what these Japanese people are smart at, like taking Pokemon, for example. Hey, let's basically just have this thing that exists and revolve it around something we can kind of. We have one thing, let's alter it, remix it, redo it, revamp it, replay it. Like, they're so smart out of making so much with nothing. Like, it's crazy. It's magic. But that's exactly what this game is the pinnacle, the absolute form of, like, everything that that country does wrapped up into one. It's trying to be so many things that it's this one thing, and you're like, how are they even doing that? Like, you try to wrap your head around it, and wow. But that's why it is what it is today. That's why it's been so successful for so long, is because it's like, if anyone's going to take that place of being this one all end all be all solution, this is it. And I think 7, or I think Rebirth specifically, even out of what I've seen or watched out of most of the other, or some of the other games, like, this is kind of as good as it's gonna get, like, you would think, for just kind of an overall, like, if you're trying to play all the games, you may as well just play this one. I don't even know why you'd need more than that. I can't personally speak for the other ones, but just guessing and assuming, like, you're probably going to get more or less of the same kind of delivery from just this versus all of the games. Like, at this point, do you even need the other games? And it's going to save you money from getting all the games, and it's kind of just... I don't know if that was kind of their plan, but... Or maybe there wasn't even a plan. Like, this is one of those games where... Was it really planned, though? Because it was kind of just... Didn't seem like it, or... I picture it kind of like behind the scenes in the studio. They'll have like a whole wall or a table full of like all these like story art things and previs and, you know, like all that industry mumbo jumbo. But then what I end up seeing this game as is like they kind of just connected the dots, and it just was like this spider web of like, I don't know. It's like they dropped it all on the floor, like I said earlier, but then it, for what was ended up putting, it was like a game that felt like it was made by accident. Like, there was no, and it's sure someone has to kind of care in the first place. Like, oh, I like to know the lore. I want to know it. I want to understand it. But if you're not someone that wants to even bother with that, it's just going to be very uninteresting. But then it becomes a point where it's like, okay, well, if I'm not interested in the story part of it, there's the gameplay. But then we're running into the same issue where even the gameplay is so fucked up that, like, at this point you just have nothing there. Like, there's nothing there for me because it's so out of place. And I mean, 7 Remake is the only one I can really properly say, like, I'll have its back, and it did what I wanted. I got what I wanted from it. But then you kind of milk it and keep it going with this one, and it's just like, I like sequels, I really do. I like Attack of the Clones and the Two Towers and Chamber of Secrets, and just as much as the next person, but this was like, I just don't think it needed to happen. I don't think it needed to be really made at all. But at the end of the day, it is a business, and it makes money, and it generates it, and it's something to play, and it's something to do. So it did that very well, but I just think it was kind of a waste. Like, if this game never came out, and we only still had 7 Remake, I'd be sitting here pretty happy. because then you got to treasure and cherish what is there versus like, oh, it's now it's this and that. And yeah, but and you should want more. If it's something is good, you want more of it. But 7 Remake did everything it needed to do so well in just that one game that, like, it's not the OG. It came back after all these years. The graphics, the modern engine, the modern mechanics, which that's even hard to say. And it really just got across what it was trying to do. But then Rebirth came out, and it's like, ugh, they're gonna make me play this. Man, I don't know. I don't mind it being a game that I've played and finished and completed, and amongst the other games that I've played and put it in my kind of profile. And but yeah, what's gonna end up happening is it's kind of gonna get kind of shoved aside and pushed to the back. And like, yeah, I played it, but beyond that, I just don't have much to really say about it. Or like, oh my god, that game was like a conversation piece. Like, oh, it was so good, and I had such a great time. And it's kind of hard to say that, to justify that. Or like, if you have this game in common with someone, that's kind of something to go off of. But it could be so easy too to be on such different pages about it that, you know, I think it's a great game to like bring people together and to enjoy together. But it's also, it has such a divide amongst it to where it's going to attract so many different people for different reasons, and then different communities and fan bases. And then, you know, then it's just another thing. You got to be like, okay, well, I like the game, but do I like you? Can we be cool or be friends? But you don't even have to be like super passionate. I think you can just like be, if someone plays this at all, like, good on them. Because it definitely takes a very certain person and like to bear this game at all. So I think a lot of people would have been too intimidated and quit, or they got like it was too much, or pressured, or just didn't care. So yeah, I think 7 is very mainstream, typical, standard, safe option, on the nose out of all of them. I do think that there's probably still some good Final Fantasies out there and a lot more underrated, but 7 is the best one for a reason. It's because it's just so damn good that you can't really deny that. So you still kind of are forced in a way to enjoy it either way, whether you like it or not. And I kind of weirdly like that. Like, I like that it makes me go out of my comfort zone. I like that it's the one exception I make out of a lot of similar things where it's something I'm willing to play. And that's a big deal in of itself versus like Bayonetta or Metal Gear Solid or similar kind of weeby non-anime CG games, and, you know, not cel-shaded, or I don't even think they have an actual anime. It's just like the movies, Advent Children. The reason why I got into Final Fantasy in the first place is because of the spirits within. If it wasn't for that movie, I don't think I'd be messing with this at all. And 7 is the closest universe to that type of environment and setting and space. And I think their other games definitely touch on that a little bit, but nothing like I think this one definitely delivers way more of a really kind of extra size thing. I think the other games, they might be, well, they're all kind of integrated and they're all themed slightly differently. Some are more fantasy based, you know, elves and I don't know, like, but this one is kind of more modern and sleek and edgier and cooler and that's why it's as good as it is, because it kind of goes there and it's not afraid to do that. So that's how I, if I can kind of have any sort of personal thing to it, that's what it would be. Is just like Cloud's really cool. He's a very good representative. He's the face of Final Fantasy, I would say. His hair, the blonde, the eyes, it's the outfit, the name, it just all kind of works. He's just such a good poster boy and a good character, and but he doesn't have like a whole lot of personality either, but you can put him at the forefront of all these other characters that's ever been created in the series, and he's just so iconic, and the Buster Sword, and it's just, oh, I love it. And Sephiroth, like every character makes a difference, and that's what, like, shit, even the side characters, the freaking NPCs, man, there's just something about them that just really, that stand out, and all together it's kind of just one hot mess, but individually, like, I think they really have their place to shine. And I love the lighting and the graphics and just the art style, and it's just all really, really, really good. But beyond that, it is kind of hard to have its back completely, or as much as you'd want to, because of the fact that there are some things that just are really hard to kind of get, like, to have its back. Which is a shame, because, like, it does such a good job at what it does that you don't want to dismiss that. And but it even for me, just one person individually, as a, like, it gets quite a bit of praise whether I admit it or not. It's kind of one of those things where it's just hard to put into words, and for me it's weird to, like, admit, but I don't know. It's one of those games that just hits you differently. It's just built differently. You can't help but to feel happy from it and feel certain things and emotions, and it's very dramatic but fun, and, like, it makes you smile and happy, and but it can also make you sad, and I don't know. Yeah, it's a good game. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.